open a play, say in June or July. And then for the next 3 weeks, while we played that play at night, we would rehearse another Shakespearean play, and 3 or 4 weeks later, open that play. So that would say a month later, June and July, we'd open another play. Then in August, we'd open the third play. And we'd then play those in rotation. And then in August through to September, they would traditionally have rehearsals for the people who were standing in, who were understudies. Sometime in June, when we opened King Henry V, one of the longest male parts in the English language, and I was assigned Chris Plummer's role as an understudy. So I understudied Henry V. And but we were 2 months away from any rehearsal, and we were about 3 or 4 weeks into the play when Chris got sick for one night. It turned out I had never spoken the words out loud of Henry V. I had never walked the part, let alone rehearsed the part. I didn't even know some of the actors who were there, because we're always so busy that it took time to meet everybody, get to know them. And somebody comes running up to me, somebody in management comes running up to me that afternoon and says, Chris Plummer is ill. Can you go on tonight in Henry V? Are you kidding me? I don't even know the name of the lady I'm going to play. I haven't even met her. How can I go on? They said, you're right. I said, wait a minute. I don't know what stupidity, what sheer arrogance. How could I believe that I could carry out a performance in front of an audience about your size in a part I had never played before, in one of the longest speaking roles in the English language, that I had only rehearsed in my bathroom. The only place I could yell, once more under the bridge, dear friends, was in my bathroom. I'd yell, once more under the bridge, dear friends, and people would say, flush the toilet. The ignorance was really what it was on my part, was astonishing. That night, I slipped into his clothes and they fitted me fairly well. I didn't know very many of his moves. I had sat while he rehearsed and played them. But it wasn't the first thing on my mind. I go on in a thrust stage that would have extended out to here, meaning there was nobody in the wings who could yell, once more onto the bridge. You know, they couldn't yell my lines. To make a long story short, I got through. And the audience arose, the cast turned in, and everybody applauded. It was big time. It was a huge moment in my life, and when I look back on it, it was like staring death in the face. And then Chris wrote a book about the incident, and he said, and in his book he says, I knew Shatner would be a star because he did everything his own way. Where I sat, he stood. Where I stood, he sat. And we all knew he'd be a star because he was doing it his own way. I never told him. I didn't know whether to stand or sit. So all these years later, we do whatever Star Trek that was, and here comes my old pal, Chris Plummer, and now I'm Captain Kirk, and he is the guy with the omelet on his head. And it was perfect. So we talk about that in this interview that I hope I'll be able to put on the air, and you'll all see. Thank you.
Next question. So you just mentioned staring death in the face.
Yes.
So that's kind of a good segue to the question that I had.
Oh, good. You needed one today.
It worked out either way.
I would have.
So, looking back, I wasn't a big fan of Generations movie, and that's okay.
No, it was not.
So that's kind of where I was going with that. Did you feel cheated, in terms of not having that whole experience and Captain Kirk lighting it on your own movie versus having that happen in kind of a cast-off fashion?
In what fashion?
Cast-off.
Cast-off. Okay, you mean the cast was off? Or? The death of Captain Kirk. Yeah. Well, here's the... that's called denial. Here's what happened. We made 6 films, and they made approximately $100 million each. They spent approximately $35 million on making it. So the multiple in movies is 3 times. That's about what it reached. So everybody made a little bit of money on the Star Trek movies, the franchise that I was in. But by that time, the Next Generation was doing very well on television. So the management at Paramount figured, well, if Next Generation is doing well, they should do well in movies. Let's make movies with that cast, and it'll make more money. So they came to me and said, we're going to kill Captain Kirk and put the Next Generation cast in making films. And if you would like to, we'd love for you to play the death of Captain Kirk. But if you don't, we'll figure another way and just get on with the fact that the Next Generation is more popular now than your series was. So I realized that I had to do something, and I thought I'll do it. By the way, they asked Leonard to be in it, and Leonard turned it down for that very reason. I decided I'd go with it, and they wrote an ending in which Captain Kirk gets shot in the back. Yeah. Boo is good. Boo. I read it, and I thought, well, whatever you said is good, I'm sure. I read it, and I thought, I can make this work. And the reason I thought I could make it work was this. A year or 2 before, I was riding a young horse in a competition. And the horse saw something that I didn't see, reared up in the air, and then fell backwards. Literally flipped backward. That sometimes happens, and usually it's fatal either for the rider or the horse or both. And I'm looking at this horse coming back over on me, thinking this is either fatal for me or the horse. At the last minute, the horse twists to the side, lands on my leg, and sort of, I didn't know at the time, but I crushed my leg. And then it scrambles off, and I'm lying on the ground. You may have noticed I'm a type A personality. That may have occurred to you over the years. It's true. Type O blood, type A personality. So I tried to get up, and I fell down. I thought, I gotta get up. Fell down. Up, down, until somebody sat on my head and said, don't get up. And I said, okay. And they said, call for an ambulance. And I said, don't call for an ambulance. And they said, you may be bleeding inside. And I said, call for an ambulance. So they called for an ambulance, and they put me in the gurney, and into the ambulance, and through the streets of Louisville, Kentucky, careening around in all the Rescue 911s that I have done. tied down. The doctor is there soothing your fevered brow. It's all right, Mr. Shatner. Nothing's going to be. You're not in any danger. It's all right. Don't worry. None of that happened yet. The gurney was loose, and both guys were in the front, and I'm slammed against sides. Finally, they get me to Humana Hospital there. Doctors are out there taking a smoke. It's Kentucky. It's tobacco plant. I say, look, there's Shatner shooting another Rescue 911. I'm dying! So they take me in, and they examine me, and I can't walk. The doctor finally pulls the curtains around the emergency bed, and he says, here,